Hello students, how are you? Hope you are doing well. So in today's session, we will continue our topic Principles of Management given by Henry Fayol. Henry Fayol has given 14 principles of management, and out of these 14 principles, we have studied about 3 principles in our last session. So today we will start with the fourth principle of management, that is unity of command. So according to this principle, an individual employee should receive orders from only one superior at a time, and that employee should answerable only to that superior. If an employee will receive order from many superiors at a time, he will get confused whose order he have to follow, and it will also create a conflict among the superiors. If we follow this principle, the positive effects are there is no confused situation for the subordinate, the efficiency of the subordinates increases, the efficiency of the superiors increases, and it is easy to fix responsibility. The volatility effects are it creates a confused situations for the subordinates, it reduces the efficiency of the subordinates, and it reduces the efficiency of the superior. The next principle is unity of direction. It means that there should be one head for one plan for a group of activities having the same objectives. For example, suppose an automobile company is manufacturing two products, namely scooters and car, hence having two divisions. Now, as each product has its own markets and problems, therefore each division must have its own heads. Next principle is subordination of individual interest to general interest. According to this principle, the interest of an organization should take priority over the interest of any one individual employee. Let's understood it with the example. A purchase manager of a company has to purchase 100 tons of raw material. His son happens to be a supplier along with other suppliers in the market. The manager purchases the raw material from the firm of his son at a rate higher than the market rate. This will profit the manager personally, but the company will incur heavy loss. This situation is undesirable. Here, the manager have to take the priority, give the priority to the interest of the organization, not the family. The next principle is remuneration to employees. According to this principle, the employee should be paid fair remuneration. We should give them at least a reasonable standard of living. The overall pay and compensation should be fair to both employees and the organization. The employees should be paid fair wages. We should give them at least a reasonable standard of living. At the same time, it should be within the paying capacity of the company. In other words, remuneration should be just and equitable. This will ensure healthy atmosphere and good relations between workers and management, and consequently the working of the company would be smooth. Now the next principle is principle of centralization and decentralization. According to this principle, the superiors should adopt effective centralization instead of complete centralization or complete decentralization. For example, the decision in respect of important objectives and policies, expansion of business should remain in the hands of the superiors. On the other hand, daily routine decisions like authority for the purchase of raw material, granting leaves to the employees, etc., should be delegated to the subordinates. The next principle is principle of scalar chain. It refers to a formal line of authority which moves from highest to the lowest ranks in a straight line. This chain must be followed in a strict manner. It means each communication must move from top to bottom and vice versa in a straight line. The important condition here that no step should be overlooked during communication. Principle of order. According to this principle of order, a right person should be placed at the right job and a right thing should be placed at the right place. According to Freud, every enterprise should have two different orders: material orders for physical resources and social order for human resources. Keeping the physical resources in order means that a proper place for everything and everything in its right place. Similarly, keeping the human resource in order means a place for everyone and everyone in his appointed place. The next principle is principle of equity. According to this principle, the managers should treat their subordinates as fairly as possible so that they develop a feeling of dedication for their work. Next principle is stability of person. According to this principle, there should be a stability in tenure of the employee so that the work continues efficiently. Employees' turnover should be minimized to maintain organization efficiency. Personnel should be selected and appointed after due procedure. But once selected, they should be kept at their position for a minimum fixed tenure. They should have the stability of tenure. They should give minimum reasonable time to show result. If we follow this principle, these are the following advantages. Increases in efficiency of employee due to feeling of job security, better reputation and goodwill of the company, less expenses on recruitment, selection and training, and no wastage of time and resources. And violation effects are unnecessary labor turnover, creates an atmosphere of dissatisfaction and disbelief, decline in the reputation of the organization, and wastage of considerable time in learning the new job. The next principle is principle of initiative. According to this principle, employee in the organization must be given an opportunity in making and executing plan. It means workers should be encouraged to develop and carry out their plans for improvement. Initiative means thinking, taking the first step with self-motivation. It is thinking out and executing the plan. If a manager follows this principle, it develops the feeling of belongingness in the employees. It increases the commitment towards the organization and employees feel improvement and want it. And if we will not follow this principle, it will create a frustration among the employee if they are not allowed to take initiative in making the plans. And second, lack of initiative may create an atmosphere of non-cooperation. This is the last principle by Henry Ford, that is esprit de corps. According to this, a manager should continuously make efforts to develop a team spirit among the subordinates. To do this, she should use the word we instead of I during the conversation with subordinates. For example, a manager should always say that we will do this work instead of I will do it. This behavior of a manager will keep alive the spirit of cooperation amongst the subordinates. So this is all about the today's session in which we have learned about the 14 principles given by Henry Ford. We will continue this chapter in our next session also. Till then, be safe, be careful and be in your home. Thank you for watching this video.